All right, guys. So unfortunately, I have some bad news, right? A lot of you are trying to start appointment setting and you've got it completely wrong. And the reason why is because you're thinking of DM setting and just sending DMs, and that's fine. You can make money doing it. But I'm here to let you know, DM setters are dying, right? The commission structures are getting worse and worse. The offers are getting worse and worse. And worst of all, AI can do, most of the work anyway, okay? And if you're just starting out with no leverage, no skill, no prior experience, and AI can come in for $20 a month and perform better than you, you have no leverage. You can't be commanding like a $2,000 a month, $3,000 a month commission structure, right? When AI can do what you do, but better with $20 a month, okay? Now, most people hear that and they'll panic. They'll think, oh, let me just go and try a different model. Let me go and quit. Let me just go and stay in my job or whatever. They'll just think, oh, well, let's not even try when they hear that, okay? But I want to tell you, there's still a very lucrative way to make a lot of money within the appointment setting realm. Appointment setting doesn't have to be DM setting. It doesn't have to be sending DMs via Instagram. It doesn't have to be doing it the old traditional way, okay? This is an avenue that not a lot of people go down because people are scared to pick up the phone, okay? And that's dialing, right? Now, before you click off the video, right, I'm telling you right now, you can become very, very rich, right? Doing dialing setting, like phone setting, right? You can make a lot of money. You can make, and I'd honestly go as far as to say, you could make more in 2 hours of dialing than you could in 1 week of doing DM setting. I'm not even joking, right? And the funny thing is as well with dialing, because not many people want to do it, there's a massive demand for it, which means there's going to be a lower barrier for you to actually enter, okay? With dialing, you can get a very good commission structure of, like, for example, 5 to 7 to sometimes 10% commission on a high ticket product. That alone is good, okay? You can also get a pay per appointment model of like 50 per appointment, right? You can also, and this is very common, to get a base salary on top of that as well of like 1K to 2K a month. I have people, right, in my network of these business owners that I know looking for dialers, right, that they're willing to pay 1.5K, 2K base, 50 per appointment, 5% commissions, like all of these kind of structures, just for someone that's willing to pick up the phone. And the funny thing is with dialing as well, you're thinking, I don't want to do it because maybe you're an introvert, maybe you're scared to talk to people on the phone, maybe you're scared of doing X, Y, Z, okay? Maybe you think that you need loads of experience and have to be Jordan Belfort on the phone. It couldn't be further from the truth, honestly, right? With phone setting, right, compared to traditional cold calling like you're thinking of it, you're going to be doing it for a company that already has a validated offer that's high ticket with a lot of the time inbound leads, right? So you're not actually cold calling. Technically, yeah, it's like it's a cold call. They're not really expecting it. But a lot of the time, these leads that you're going to be ringing are actually already existing in their database and their CRM, right? So that means they've already opted in to their offer in some way, shape, or form, which means they're not completely cold, okay? So you're effectively calling leads that are somewhat already kind of expecting your phone call, right? And the next best thing on top of that is not only are they not entirely cold, right, but you also get a script given to you as well. You don't need skill. You don't need skill to book an appointment on the phone. It's literally you call up someone that's opted in, right, that's shown clear interest. So they already have that base level interest there. You call them up, you follow the script, right, and you just make sure they're qualified for the offer and you can actually help them out, and then you book them into a call. You literally just do it on the phone right there. It could take like 5 minutes tops, right? Well, sometimes it's going to drag over, but you can book calls, right, within 5 minutes on the phone, right, and be paid $2,000 a month base salary. That's actually on the high end. Let's say 1K to 1.5K a month base salary before you've even dialed anyone, by the way. 1.5K, 1K base salary, 50 per appointment, 5% commissions on the close of like a 7K product, right? Really good closing rate on that team. You're good at booking calls. You've got a shitload of leads and you're not going to go hungry, right? Like, this is so much more lucrative. And as well, on top of that, you can do that. For example, you can do 200 dials, book in, 6 or 7 appointments, be paid 50 per appointment, right? So you're being paid, what's that, like $300, right? $300 per day for the calls you're booking in, plus the 1.5, 1K base salary. And then you could also potentially, depending on the offer that you're on, get a 5% commission on the close as well, right? Do you know how easy that is to hit $5,000 a month doing that? And doing 200 dials a day, and by the way, getting good enough to the point you can book 6 appointments a day, doesn't take that long, even as a complete beginner, especially if you're following a script that's proven to work in the past, which a lot of the time when you work on a role is going to be that way, right? Within 3 hours, 3 hours per day, you can make more money in one day from doing that, from doing 200 dials than you can in a week of DM setting. Because DM setting, right, because the barrier is so low, Loads of people are hiring for DM setters, but that doesn't mean they're all good companies, right? Just because you find an offer that's offering DM setting with a OTE of 3 to 5K a month doesn't mean that you can actually hit that, okay? And just because there's a plethora of jobs going doesn't mean they're all good, right? So with DM setting, because there's so much inconsistency with lead flow, with commission structures, with the closing rate, all of this kind of stuff, right? And lead quality, it makes it harder and harder and harder for you to make a high ticket income, especially as these people don't want to pay you per appointment anymore. They don't want to pay you a base salary because you're just sat there sending DMs. There's no skill level to it, right? They figured it out, okay? You can't just chill on an inbound role, sending DMs and making 5K a month anymore. You've got to be a little bit better than that now, guys, especially with AI coming into play, okay? So 1 week of doing DM setting, spamming DMs, to people that don't know who you are, cold outreach, right? 5% commissions on a 3K product with a 15% closing rate on leads that aren't even from your bookings. You can make more in one day, 3 hours of work doing dialing than you can in 1 week of DM setting. Granted, you have to be on like a decent role, and granted, you have to be somewhat good at what you do. But to get to that point is not that hard, right? And you're putting on such a pedestal, thinking that you need to have this backlog of experience and this like Jordan Belfort kind of attitude. It's not. It could be further from the truth, right? You can make this work so fast, right? And I'll tell you a story. I brought on a guy. I'm not going to say his name, but he's 17 years old. He's working part-time at a retail job. I'm not even joking. No experience at all. Nothing at all. No prior sales experience, no nothing. He was just hungry, okay? He came on board with me, and I promise you, like honestly, he, within a month, landed a dialing role for, I'm not going to say the company, I wish I could because it's absolutely huge, right? But a huge e-com coaching offer, right? Doing dialing that had a 1K base salary, right? And I think he's also on a pay per appointment. I think he has that in there now as well. I think he managed to negotiate it. And also 5% commissions on, I think it's like a 5K product, a little bit above that, right? And he's now doing about $3,000 a month. At 17, working part-time in a retail job. No prior experience, right? Just had the balls to pick up the phone and do some dials. Now he's making 3K a month at 17. Do you know how good that is? Just because he had the balls to pick up the phone and go, hey, and just follow a script. Just because he had the balls to do that, now he's making $3,000 a month, right? Now, let me ask you this. You want to make $5,000 a month online because you've seen everyone claim that you can do it with appointment setting. You can. I'm speaking from experience, right? But if I tell you to pick up the phone and do some dials on an offer, you start shaking and getting a bit sweaty and saying, oh no, I want to stick to DMs. If I'm telling you how to do it, you should do it. This is the way to get there, okay? And if you're saying you want $5,000 a month and then I tell you how to do it and you're not willing to do it, you don't want it that bad, okay? And the funny thing is, with the whole dialing thing, because you put it on such a massive pedestal, right, it's so much harder than it needs to be. The truth is, right, it's actually a paper-thin wall. It's like that, okay? So you here, in a job you hate, making $1,000 a month, stuck in a retail job that you hate, speaking from experience, right? Then you here, making $5,000 a month, right? Working a couple of hours a day, chilling in a Spanish villa like this, right? On a random, what day is it today? Is it Thursday? Yeah, Thursday, right? On a random Thursday in February. Right? Imagine your life could be like that, but you didn't want to push over that paper-thin wall, right? And the funny thing is, if you're scared to dial people because you're an introvert, I don't want to hear that excuse, because all it takes is like 50 dials to get over the fear, right? If you can just go, look, I really want to make $5,000 a month. I want to make $5,000 a month more than I don't want to do dialing, right? Pick up the phone, do 50 dials, follow a script to inbound warm leads, you will get over the fear. 50 to 100 dials, right? And if it's like the worst case, let's say 1 to 2 weeks of doing it. And then all of a sudden you've pushed over that paper-thin wall. Now you're making the money you want to make. You're the character you want to be. And also as well, appointment setting is a stepping stone into a really good sales career, okay? Learning dialing and getting good at dialing and cold calling and speaking to people on the phone is going to make you such a better salesman long-term, right? Which will make you more money long-term than just sending DMs ever will, okay? So if you can just grow a pair of balls, pick up the phone and do some dials, right? And just get over that fear, you're going to make a lot of money very quickly. And also long-term, you can refine your sales skills and become elite at sales, which then gives you more opportunities long-term to make even more money than that, right? So that's pretty much it for this video, guys. DM setters are dying, right? But that creates an opportunity for dialers because nobody wants to do it. And because nobody wants to do it, there's a massive demand and the barrier is really low to entry. And these guys pay a base salary on top, okay? Because it takes a little bit more skill than just sending DMs, right? It takes more skill to dial someone and you're paid accordingly, okay? So now all you need to do is find a good offer that actually has good lead flow, a good ticket price, a good offer that people can actually get helped by, right? And have the balls to just pick up the phone and follow a script. You don't need to be Jordan Belfort. You just need to have balls, pick up the phone and follow the script that they give you, okay? Now listen, if you want my personal one-to-one help to help you do this, right? Because this is just scratching the surface. I work one-to-one with people like yourself to help them make a lot of money with setting, right? And if you want to have a similar story, like that guy that I told you that I brought on board, who's making $3,000 a month at 17 doing dialing as a complete beginner, I'm going to leave a link down below in the description to book on a call with me and I'll run you through exactly how I can help you do that, okay? Full transparency, that's a sales call. So if you don't be sold to, don't click it. But I also guarantee everyone I work with that they'll land a role, right, within 60 days or you're not going to pay me a penny, okay? So if you're serious about making this work and you want to learn from someone who's still in the game, still practicing what they preach and actually knows what they're talking about, because I've worked with people like Charlie Morgan or William Brown, I've done over 2 million in cash collected for my clients. If you want to learn the right way to do these things, the link is going to be down below in the description to book on a call with me. Book that in and I'll run you through exactly how I can help you.